I'm not getting fed enough treats for appearing. He's done. But yes, Haley is holding Car.
I love it.
And Car loves you. Hi, Car.
Hi.
Say hi to everyone.
Hey guys, it's Haley from the Modern Ferret, and I'm here with Emzotic, the famous pet tuber. We are meeting for the first time. You like that intro?
I did. I loved it.
We're meeting for the first time in person today. We've introduced our ferrets, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk to Em about her experience with ferrets, kind of figure out why she got into ferrets, how we both ended up here, and just talk about why we love these pets so much. So let's get into it. Now, will you introduce us to your current ferrets?
Oh, I absolutely will. Right here, chilling, disturbingly, quietly, is Dobby. She is my little female ferret. And then over here is Nifla, who is a sack of potatoes and has the IQ of a banana.
Look at their size difference. Can you just
yeah.
show them real quick?
Yeah.
I can't even believe it. Like, I've seen it in her videos, but they're like completely different. Can you believe that? It's crazy.
And yet, Dobby rules the roost because she's the one with the brains.
Are these your first ferrets?
No, these are not my first ferrets. My very first ferret that I kept was a beautiful rescue albino called Bear, who was actually even bigger than Nifla. And he was a retired rabbiter. So his job, he was bred to be a rabbiter. That literally means going down into like rabbit warrens, flushing them out, and then capturing them. Unfortunately, he got too big and too lazy to do his job. So it was decided by his owner that it's probably best not to use him as breeding stock, and he was home to me, where he just was a very spoiled ferret for many years.
How long did he live for?
I think he was an 8 when he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Are ferrets different than you originally thought before you had them?
I mean, I'd worked around them, so I sort of knew what to expect.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know was just how much personality they have.
Yes.
And how varied their personalities are. When you think of, say, hamsters, you know, some like to be held and some are really grumpy. But with ferrets, they just have such differing, intricate personalities, and they're all so lovable. Whether they're mischievous, like what's going on over there.
Over here.
Oh my god.
Someone just hit their head on something, and then the thing went.
That would be Nifla. This is why he has no more brain cells left. But they're just so lovable. I didn't realize how hard you could fall for ferrets.
I didn't either. I think my first experience with ferrets was I was at the vet for another pet, and the vet said, "Don't get ferrets. They're not worth all the health problems." And they do have a lot of health problems. There's truth to that. But so I kind of wrote them off as a pet, and then Channing and I saw them in the pet store, and they were jumping around like little puppies, so cute. And we picked Moose out. He was the shyest, most quiet, docile little boy in the corner. All the other ferrets were jumping around, nipping, all these things, which is normal. But Moose was different. He was just like pondering the world in the back. We took him home. He fit in our pocket. And he had the deepest personality I would have never expected from a ferret. So you are spot on with that. It is a deep connection you form with them. They're incredibly intelligent, like emotional. They have senses of humor. They do. They want to laugh. They want you to laugh. Like I've had many pets. I have never had a pet like a ferret ever in my life.
And what's so great about ferrets is you can fold them like origami, like this. Literally origami.
What is this?
What even is that?
How does this work?
Boop. Hi.
What is the hardest part about having ferrets?
I think the hardest part about having ferrets is trying to understand how to get their diet right, because there's so many different protocols that you can follow when it comes to feeding ferrets, and just sourcing something that's going to be nutritious for them that's not mass available.
Yes.
That's really difficult, because things that are available on the market are not always the best. A lot of ferret products I find are not suited for ferret owners. And I think a lot of the different products and foods out there available for ferret owners commercially set people up for failure. And are not necessarily good for either the pet or the owner. So that has been difficult, is going and learning what's good for ferrets in one country, then coming to another where things are very different, and trying to learn all over again.
Yeah, you were talking about how different even the housing requirements are in Europe and the UK versus the US, right?
So, yeah, because if you're not familiar, in Europe and in the UK, the ferrets that we keep, yes, some people do keep them indoors, but they're predominantly outdoor animals. They're animals you keep in sheds and in hutches. I don't agree with the hutches, but people do keep them in sheds, and they're much more of like a cold weather animal, whereas a lot of ferrets here are kept indoors. So that has been definitely a learning curve for me.
Mm-hmm. So two of ours have adrenal disease. Two of them have insulinoma. Do any of yours have any health problems that you know
Not as
of?
of yet, but I am waiting for it. I know that now that they're getting to 3 and 4 years old, this is sort of the age that they're going to start manifesting their problems. So I'm prepared for that. I've put money aside to be able to deal with those issues, because it does get very expensive when ferrets do start to lose their health.
Yeah.
But everything up until that, it's so worth it. And even when they are going through health issues, as yours are, they don't lose their personalities. They just soldier through, and they're just not any less loving.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I was telling Em earlier that Moose has the most health problems out of any of these guys. Newt is the most severe, but Moose, numbers wise, has he has a cyst on his kidney, he has a tumor on his tail he got removed, he has insulinoma, he has adrenal, all these things. But his personality, his attitude has not changed. He is just as joyful and playful as he was when we first got him, and I think that makes it a lot easier to deal with the health problems. It's hard to find information on ferrets, which is why we're doing what we're doing.
Yes.
And so we didn't know to be on the lookout for something like insulinoma and seeing like kind of extra lethargy from them, kind of like a depression kind of behavior from them.
Right.
And so we just thought, oh, Moose is just a sleepy guy. And he is sleepy for the most part. But the reason that we found out he had insulinoma was he actually got a stomach infection called Helicobacter, I believe. Insulinoma makes them more prone to Helicobacter, some kind of relationship like that. Let me look into it. But our vet tested him for insulinoma because he had the stomach infection, and she found out that he had it. And so I would say we actually caught it earlier for him, which is why it has not progressed as severely as Newt. His unfortunately progressed very severely before we caught it. We got an implant from Moose at, I want to say 3 or 4 years old, Chan. And that was preemptive. And then the reason we got it for Albert was because he humps his brother like you would.
Oh, really?
He humps and humps and like he is I don't know what to say.
That's like an assertion of dominance and an excitement thing, though, isn't it?
And he drags his brother, grabs him by the neck and drags him. I mean, all these aggressive behaviors that our vet said that's pointing towards adrenal disease, so we got him an implant. And then Newt, we recently got him one because he started having a lot of hair loss on his butt, and that could be another sign of adrenal disease.
Yes.
But it was around the 3-4 year mark that we're talking about, that yours are around that age. They're not showing those health problems right now. Yet.
That is the downside to ferrets, is that there's not a lot of genetic diversity, and they are very prone to different cancers and lymphomas. So it's definitely something to be aware of when going into keeping ferrets. But really, aside from the health issues, which a lot of animals do get in their later years anyway, I just think that they're probably one of the best pets out there.
They really are.
Like, they just inspire so much joy, and they're just so great because you get the best of both worlds with regards to they're as playful as a kitten,
oh, 100%.
but as intelligent, in my opinion, as a dog. Like, they're just selective about where they put that intelligence, because they have selective hearing.
Yes.
Very selective hearing. Like, they can do things, they'll learn, but they don't want to.
What are some life lessons we could take from ferrets?
They move on from things really quickly. Whether they fall off of something, they're going through a scuffle with another ferret. Once they're over something, they're over it. They don't hold a grudge, and they just take every minute as it comes. They're not preemptive. They just do what they want to do when they want to do it. They have fun together. They're all about joy. They're so curious. I think it's important that we don't lose our curiosity as we grow, but more than anything, they just live in the moment, and I think that's a really great way to be, just living in the moment and enjoying what's right in front of you, the small pleasures in life.
One thing that I feel like I could take from Moose, and I think you were dead on with all those things, they are pure joy, they live in the moment, they don't take things with them. Moose in particular is one of the most trusting and happy-go-lucky guys ever. I can hand him to anybody. Do you want to hold him?
Yeah, I would love to. Come here, Moose.
You can hand Moose to anybody, adult, kid, and he goes, I trust you. And he just like melts into your arms. I think that's a really good life lesson to take, that maybe we can be kind to people and give them the benefit of the doubt before judging them or anything like that. I mean, look at Moose. He goes, yeah, I think you're okay. To everybody he meets, anybody. And that's a life lesson I think I'll take with me from Moose.
How many ferrets is too many ferrets?
Oh gosh, isn't this the question? Oh boy, we are getting philosophical.
Philosophical.
It's interesting. It's a little bit debated because some people say that they're very social animals, but I have a friend who's actually talking to a vet or a researcher, and she says, you know, they can be solitary animals. So I think it actually depends on how many do you feel confident that you can provide for, right? Because their vet bills are going to get expensive. Their food is relatively expensive. Their veterinary care can be expensive, housing, all that kind of stuff. We would probably be happy with 2. We are very happy with our 3 boys.
Yes.
But that is because we got Albert and Newt together. We'd never separate them. But say we gotten just Albert or just Newt, I think 2 would have been fine.
Yeah, I like 2. I think 2's a really good number. I have had a single ferret. Bear was a single ferret because he did not. He was aggressive, outright aggressive to other ferrets. No matter what I did, he was not happy to share his space. So it just wasn't worth putting him through that stress and making him integrate into a business of them. But I do think that it's like the more ferrets you have, it is a lot more fun, it's a lot more engaging, but you have to be able to provide for them because you double the cost like each time you bring home another ferret.
Yes.
The cost goes up and it goes up and it goes up, and it can get very, very high. Is there a reason why you chose specifically to have males?
Moose, we would have loved him if he was a girl or a boy. We just felt connected to him, so that was just the first one. And then after that, we had, hi, little possum. We had a girl for a little bit, and we called her Puddle because she loved to splash all the water out of the water bowl, which now we realize is pretty common. She stressed out Moose so much. He's pooping himself all the time. They had really horrible, aggressive interactions with each other. And that kind of showed me how the girl ferrets can be. It's not true for all ferrets, but I was like, oh, this is how girls are. And then I kind of had that filter on me where every time I saw a girl ferret, I thought, maybe they're like this. And I do feel that they're a little bit feistier. The boys seem to be more docile. I don't know. You know, it's that way with a lot of species.
I find that I prefer male energy when it comes to my animals. A lot of my animals tend to be male. I chose a male dog specifically. I chose male ferrets specifically. Dobby was my first female ferret, and I felt sorry for her because she was super docile, just like the way that Moose was. And I brought her home and she became a terror. So yes, I do prefer typically male energies with my animals. And the species that I worked with, the males tend to be more laid back. The females, I think, especially when it comes to ferrets, I find the females to be a lot more focused, and certainly when it came to hunting with ferrets, the females were more prized than the males because not only are they smaller, but they also just seemed a bit more switched on and a lot more calculating. Have you ever seen a ferret scream out of frustration?
No.
It happens. So I've been hunting with male and female ferrets, and I forgot to put down a net to catch one of the rabbits being flushed out of a rabbit warren, and the female ferret that was flushing it, she screamed at me, like literally, when she saw that I hadn't caught it, and she was like laser focused. She literally went like, yeah! That's what it sounds like. It was so scary. And Dobby screams at me when I give her a bath because she's very upset about it all the time. Which I don't do very often, but when I do bath her or bathe her, she does often scream at me. They can be very temperamental and very vocal.
Don't you love this?
The sploot.
See if Albert would do it too. No, he's too relaxed. Like, whatever.
How's it always so stiff?
I know.
And if you put your arm between it, like they clasp
Oh
it.
yeah, this thing. Oh, he's really relaxed right now.
Are you gonna clasp me?
Like one of those snap bracelets, right?
It is.
Boop. Boop. Do your ferrets snore? Because our ferrets snore pretty loud.
They don't snore, but they do make noises. They just do like a little like
Yeah.
Who's licking me?
Do they have, I wouldn't call them nightmares, but little noises while they sleep, like,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
And
pretty
it's
cute.
funnily enough more Dobby than Niffler, and she will always snuggle underneath him. He's like a big water blanket for her.
That's like Moose. He has to sleep underneath Newt and Albert.
Oh, really?
He's like, if I could get him a present, I would get a little mini weighted blanket. I feel like that's what he would like.
That's a product you should come out with.
Tiny little
A
weighted
ferret weighted blanket.
Do what you want, no chipper.
That'd be adorable.
Well, hello, Albert.
Just gonna grab him backwards by his
Yes.
feet.
Yes. Okay, to wrap this thing up, first of all, thank you so much for having us here and showing us all your incredible animals. What you have set up here is incredible.
Thank you.
Our ferrets got along like surprisingly well. Everybody's like doing good.
Everyone's
I'm so
super
impressed.
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for inviting me on your channel and
Yeah.
coming to say hi to everybody.
Yeah. Now tell us where we can find you and what kind of stuff we can find on your channel.
So I do a lot of different kinds of animal education, and I do a lot of different creature features, which is kind of like a fun little fact file where I pick an animal and tell you facts about them. You can find me on YouTube at Emzotic, which is EMZOTIC, and on Instagram or anywhere else that there's social media at Emzotic Official, all one word.
Do you see the kind of knowledge you're going to get from her channel? Do you understand?
Stay in school.
Pasta knowledge. What do you want me to link to?
Her channel.
Oh, right. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We will link to Emzotic's YouTube channel down in the description below. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Are you talking about pasta?
Yes.
Oh!
Wait, what do you guys think I was talking about?
I have no idea.
Oh my god. Woo. Professional set here. Alrighty, thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye!
Oh, squishy.
Mwah.
You're so squishy.